How many of you guys can confidently say that you're booked out 6 to 12 months in advance? Furthermore, how many of you guys that threw your hands up to that one could say that you're booked out 6 to 12 months in advance with the right type of customer, with a qualified customer, with somebody that perfectly suits your customer avatar? Guys, it's one of those questions that many people struggle with within business, making sure that you're booked in advance, but in a way that you're not competing on price and you're working with the right type of client. That is what you're going to learn in today's podcast with Marty Amos. Enjoy. Today's podcast has been proudly brought to you by Tradie Web Guys. Tradie Web Guys work with tradespeople only on their websites and marketing solutions to help them stand out from their competition. Everything from web design through to SEO, search engine marketing, content creation, you name it, guys. It is a customized solution for trade-based organizations and it's fantastic. Head across to tradiewebguys.com.au/apply, fill in the form and let's have a conversation.
Giving tradies and contractors around the globe the tools to run a modern business. You're listening to Toolbox Talks from the Site Shed. Now here's your host, Matt Jones.
Marty Amos, welcome to the Site Shed podcast.
Hi, Matt. Stoked to be here, mate.
Absolutely, mate. I got tired of seeing all your Facebook ads, so I thought I may as well just get you on the show.
Yeah. Don't worry. If you come to our website, we will retarget you until you buy or die.
Truth. So, Marty, welcome. You're from The Professional Builder. You're based over in NZ, and we're here today to talk about the 3 steps on taking your business from chaos to control.
It's all about.
So, tell us a bit about the business.
So we've been going for 15 years. So I grew up on Stewart Island, which is sort of the Tasmania, I guess, in Australia. A small tropical island right next to the Antarctic, and swam across the ditch, went to Otago University, did a marketing degree, came to Auckland, worked in corporate, and then started business coaching. And we coached all manner of different businesses. And then we started focusing solely on residential building company owners because we could help them. We had a lot of them as clients. We'd help that. Typically, they were great builders, great at doing great work, but we're missing some of the core things to help them build a great business. So for the last 15 years, we've helped about 5,500 to 6,000 residential building company owners across Canada, North America, the US, Australia, New Zealand, and now the UK as well. Put systems in place, understand their numbers to drive more profit, and buy back time and get their teams performing better.
Music to my ears. I love it. So we've got a lot of builders out there. Regardless, I think this series is going to be relevant to everyone. So, I mean, we've sort of structured this in a way where, I mean, I know you're following a bit of a formula that you guys like to teach a lot, but we've broken this episode into this series into 3 different episodes. Do you just want to run through, I'll run through what they are. So first of all, it's how to get booked out 6 months in advance without competing on price. And I think the key there, competing on price, a lot of our builders are booked out 6, 12 months in advance. But yeah, that price competing thing is something that does come up a lot. The ultimate process on removing yourself from your trade business, where I guess we're going to be talking a lot about system implementation. Is that right?
Yep, 100%.
Fantastic. And then in the final episode, we're going to be talking about driving more profit from your projects. Exactly. Fantastic. I love it. So they're all pretty red hot topics. I know you're a member of the Facebook community over there where a lot of the conversations happen and people are always asking things around, the system space, definitely pricing and how to maybe even a lot of conversations around charging for quotes and that kind of stuff too, which I suppose is effectively customer qualification. But yeah, I think this will be very well received. So we have got just before we get started, your website, theprofessionalbuilder.com. And for anyone out there that wants to follow you guys, you're at The Professional Builder across social media, and your email is info@theprofessionalbuilder.com. I'll put links to all that stuff in the show notes, guys. So rest assured you can head across that page where you can get hold of Marty. And also Marty has left behind, what's the resource again, Marty?
So we've got a couple of things. You can get a free game plan. We'll help you map out the next 90 days, the next 12 months. No obligation, no cost at www.calltpb.com. Or we've also got a free masterclass where we go through everything in depth on how to put systems in place, understand your numbers, get your team performing better. And that's at www.buildersblueprint.com.
I've got all those.
Awesome.
Anyway, so I'll put links to those guys in the show notes. I'm going to worry about writing that stuff down. Awesome. All right. Cool bananas. So let's jump right in to part one. So we're talking in this episode about how to get booked out 6 to 12 months ahead without competing on price. Who primarily are we talking to here, Marty? Is it typically the business owner? Is it the guy in charge of estimating? What's the go?
Typically, it's the business owner because they're in control of all the different aspects of the business to ensure that they are getting booked out at the right margins and that they've got good deal flow. And there's obviously some great avenues that you can go through if you're marketing directly to the end consumers. As residential builders, that's what you should be aiming to do, versus going through tenders, using websites like Builderscrack, etc., or even going via architects where there's retentions and things can turn to custard and you've got more people chipping away at your margin.
Yeah, gotcha. I think one of the key things that jump out to me is like, sure, getting booked out 6 to 12 months in advance is great. Without competing on price is great as well. But I suppose that competing on price to me sounds like dealing with the right customer.
Yeah, 100%, because building skills are not enough to build a successful building company.
Right.
You understand the business skills as well. And then within that, the sharp end of that is marketing, because before you can win a job, first you have to get a lead or a prospect before you can actually get someone to talk to see if that's the kind of job you want to do, and then price the job, win it, convert it at a margin that is suitable and sustainable to your business.
I think there's a lot of smoke and mirrors out there when it comes to marketing, especially, I mean, we work with a lot of builders. Like we build loads of building websites, probably more building websites than anything at the moment. For some reason, I don't know what, it's just divine intervention or whatever. But like one of the big things that we find is because they're not screaming for the work, but what they really suck at is showcasing their work. And so when we talk about marketing, it's not always about running Google ads and, Facebook marketing, that kind of stuff. And from our perspective, it's very often just being able to present well to the right people with the right layout, the right format, looking professional, so on and so forth. And that gets, to us, that's marketing as well. Like it's about as big as much as your brand is involved,
100%. Because people have got 4 key questions before they'll buy from you. Who are you? Who's your company? Can I trust you? And how specifically can you help me? So we want to make sure that you've got all those questions answered specifically on your website, in your marketing collateral that you send out. Before you even go out to see a client or do a site visit, you will have qualified them using a questionnaire. You will have qualified them using a phone script, and you'll have some simple questions that you'll go through. Hi, welcome to XYZ Building. Just so I can help you best, do you mind if I ask you a few questions? Great. Tell me a bit about your project. When do you need to start? When do you need to finish? How big is it? Have you got consent? What's your budget? Any other specifics that we need to know about beforehand?
One of the big things that we've been helping a lot of our builders with of late, well, builders and project-based workers. We find typically with the emergency service listeners out there, it's not as relevant because people go, oh, my toilet's blocked. Find a plumber, call them straight away, book it in. They're not really that interested in getting information as such. But when with builders and stuff, we found what's worked really well is qualifying them through the website. We've got a really good framework that we use in the form of a web form. And basically because the problem is as well, I mean, as you would know, like a lot of listeners out there would resonate with this, you're out there swinging hammers and trying to get a roof pitched, but the phone keeps ringing and you're stopping every 10 minutes to answer the bloody phone. And you're having conversations with people that aren't ready to have conversations with you. They may not have insurance. They may not have drawings done. They may not have architectural drawings, or, they might not have, like development application, sent in, all that kind of stuff, So we've been able to, I suppose, instead of having this hour-long conversation with somebody on the phone that isn't ready to have the conversation, now we can kind of say to people, or the builders are saying to these guys, hey, look, just in order to make sure we're on the same page, I'm just going to email you the link to our page on our website. Just put all of your information into there, and then we'll be able to come back to you, and have a conversation based off what level or what stage you're at in that process. And it's just been working really well for them. It just saves them so much time, so much energy, and it makes them look really professional, because very often what happens is they're asking questions to a potential customer, which the customer hasn't even thought about themselves. And they're thinking, oh shit, this guy's really on his game here. Like, he must do this a lot. Yeah, so it's kind of like a subliminal message as well.
100%. And you're far better to have if you're just a one-man band or you don't have your own office set up, you're far better to have your number going through to a landline than someone calling you on your mobile halfway up a ladder, go, oh, hold on, mate, what? No, can I just give you a call back? As opposed to, hello, welcome to XYZ building, just so I can help you best. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions? Great, Tell me about your project, et cetera, et cetera.
It makes it very easy as well when you've got that framework in place to outsource it. I know we're going to get to this probably when we're in the second episode, when we're talking a little bit more about systems, but a lot of the guys out there and a lot of listeners out there are probably thinking the same thing. Well, if I don't answer my phone, I don't get that job. And that's true unless you set it up the right way.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, I say this to guys all the time, I'm not arguing with you, I'm arguing for you. Like, if you win this argument, then you lose, you know what I mean? Like, it's a matter of really trying to understand how you can implement processes which can remove you from certain areas of any given stage of the business. And that's a massive one, like, you should be, if your time is best spent swinging hammers and pitching roofs, then stop answering the bloody phone, because that's where your time's best spent. So,
exactly.
So I'm really keen to hear, I suppose, how what your process is around this. So where do you want to start?
Well, I've got a great revolutionary idea. Let's start at the beginning.
Good.
Oh God. Okay. So most building companies, a lot of them, and trades businesses exist on word of mouth. Referrals, word of mouth, etc. And when you ask them, what is your marketing system? Well, it's almost like they wear it with a badge of honor. Never had to advertise, mate. Pow! Take that. Now, what should happen is hope is never a good strategy for running your life, family, future of your family, let alone your business. So the smart thing is to have a marketing system that has multiple different strategies that's going to help bring the right kind of leads to you, and they're going to come down a chute. Now, typically those people fall into one of three areas. There's 5% of people that are ready right now. So those people, we obviously want to get on the phone, put through your sales script, and see whether they're, worth a site visit, etc. There's 25% of people who aren't ready right yet. And this is where the gold is. These people might be 6 to 12 months away from building. They might be tire kickers, in which case the qualification process is going to weed them out with your questionnaire. Or they might be simply not ready yet. It's typically their biggest investment of their life. So it's highly intangible, high involvement, and high risk purchase for them. So they're going to go through a lot of aspects of decision making, from Google search, Facebook search. They've got different criteria. So there's 5 key criteria that they're looking at. So price, trustworthiness, quality of work, communication, and your relative experience in the market. So we want to make sure that you've covered off all those different aspects throughout different elements of your website, your information pack, and so forth. And I'll go through how you can apply those.
I feel like you're preaching to the choir here. I feel like it's me talking to myself.
Yeah, 100%. We're on the same page, because this is what works to help.
Kindred spirits.
Yeah, exactly. So if we look at the key thing in someone's mind is, why should I choose your building company over these 2 or 3 other ones? Right? As simple as that. And then you have to be able to answer that around those 5 key concerns. So what is your unique selling proposition? So if we ask everyone who's listening now, why would I choose your building company, or why would someone choose your building company over any other building company.
Most of them wouldn't know.
Yeah, and for most,
you know what they'd say? They'd say because we Marty, we have a huge focus on customer service.
Yeah,
and we offer a great product. That's our unique selling.
Exactly. So, what we want to do is break that down and show. Okay, cool. So when you say we have great communication, here's some key things that you can do. One, we have Buildertrend, Co-Construct, or Rave, or any project management software so you can see exactly where your project is at. Two, you get a dedicated project manager. So whether it's yourself, your foreman, or you've got, say, 8 different sites running, you've got a dedicated project manager 24/7.
Your apprentice.
Yeah, every week we'll have a construction meeting on site whereby the project manager will come out and we'll go through where are we at in relation to the project schedule, what other sub-trades are coming on site, et cetera, et cetera. And we'll give you a one-page report so that you know, are we going to track? So you take screenshots of that, you give examples of that, and then you have 1 or 2 little testimonials from people. And that covers aspect number 1, communication. So then quality of work, and then you just go through each of the other ones. So quality of work. So that would be number of years in business, how many of you guys are trade certified, have you won any Master Builders Awards, photos of your work, video testimonials from clients, guarantee as to the quality of work, the quality of the finishes that you use. So we're going to take all this intangible stuff and make it tangible by showing screenshots, photos, testimonials, etc., that you can deliver what you say you can in your promise.
Love it.
All right. Do you want me to keep going?
So I'm thinking one of the big issues that I think a lot of the guys have, especially project-based work and builders and that kind of stuff, is we're talking about not competing on price in this episode, so it's probably worth bringing up the whole thing around the whole free quote side of things.
Yeah,
and I know I've had this conversation with a bunch of clients and friends over the years. And we figured out that the way that you can, and I'm sure you've got a framework around this, so I'm interested to see what your thought process is behind it. But we figured out that, so I'll use my mate Dave for an example. He will spend sometimes 2 days putting a proposal or a inverted commas quote together for somebody that's looking to, build a home or whatever. And then, in some of those instances, the homeowner might just go, wow, this is great. Like he gives them this beautifully presented bundle of amazingness to the homeowner. The homeowner goes, oh, okay, cool. Goes away, gives it to the next builder and says, this is what this other builder gave me. Go, can you quote off this? The guy goes, yeah, sure. I'll just knock 10% off, done, no problem. And so we figured out that the way that you can differentiate that is obviously, you should be charging for that time. It's taking you 2 days, why shouldn't you be charging $2,000 for that thing? And so, but the difference is if you call it a quote and the next guy's giving a free quote and you're giving a paid quote, then you kind of like on apples to apples here, clients thinking, well, why would I pay for yours when this one's free? Whereas if you can like really pitch it a little bit differently and instead of calling it like a quote, call it something like a detailed project analysis scope or something, then it kind of changes the game a little bit.
Exactly.
And so that's been working really well for them.
Yeah, 100%. Our guys, we've got a system that you charge for the next step in the process. And that involves, obviously, and you need to spell out what that involves and what the value and the benefit that the person is going to get. So myself, my project manager, QS, and some of the sub-trades will come out to site. We'll assess your build and see, does your scope of works, typically your scope of works and your budget, and never the twain shall meet, how we can help bend that mirage or oasis that you've got that is your scope of works to your budget.
I think, Ben, as well, sorry to interrupt you, but that's one of the big things that we've established in order not to waste anybody's time, the customers or your own, is bring up the topic of budget early in the piece. And we do it ourselves. It's one of the first things we ask. And by default, like I have the own form set up my own website and it's on the front page there. So if people get to that page and they say, oh, the bottom level budget, if it's not there, like I don't want to waste their time. Like we're not going to work with you. We'll be able to refer you to maybe other people that might be able to help. But it's not like it's worth bringing it up initially. Otherwise, you go through days and days of conversations. Then at the end, you go, oh, sorry, we haven't got the money for it.
Yep, exactly. So there's 2 options. Either one, get great at sales and marketing and follow proven sales and marketing so you've got a flood of the right kind of leads so you can pick and choose the right kind of job. Or two, keep doing business as you always have, dealing with tire kickers, dealing with time wasters, and pricing unprofitable work where the scope of works is never going to match the budget. Choice is yours.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious.
Yep.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. Carry on.
Oh, yeah, so you did right. Changing that so that you're comparing apples with oranges is a great play. So changing the name to, a detailed project analysis, your dreams to reality action plan, something that, who would have thought of that? So something that changes what their frame of reference is. And then what you're going to do is, if you get your whole team there to go around there and you're actually going to demonstrate value and you let them know up front, you will come out of this with a document that spells out how we're actually going to help you achieve this. You're going to get the insight from our architect, our QS, etc. So you've got a combined 87 years worth of building experience across 146 building projects. And we're going to show you how we can bend your scope of works to the budget. And this is what you'll come out with, a detailed 8-page document with, now obviously in our quotes into action plans, our guys charge anywhere from $1,000 to $3,500 for this. And we've got the template, the scripts that you use when you're actually on the phone to the client and when you're in front of them on how to get this over the line. And it's a great way of what you said earlier of qualifying people out who are not a good fit. And then of course, great. If they go through with it, fantastic. You can do one of two things. You can either take it off the price if they go ahead, or just build it into the margin. I'd just build it into the margin. There's no point in cutting more money out of yourself.
I wonder if sometimes though it's nice for the customers to hear that. Well, look, if you decide to go ahead, then we're going to take that $3,000 off the price of the job. But of course, we don't want to.
Yeah, sure. Whatever way.
However you want to dress it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Love it. Cool. Moving along.
So if anyone wants that, I'm happy to make that available. It is a killer process.
So what I'll do for the listeners out there, if you want to leave anything like that behind, Marty, I will have your own dedicated page on the SiteShed website.
Cool.
And any of the listeners out there, you need to go to the show notes or you need to go to the resource section of the website. You need to complete the form and it will send you directly to that page and you'll be able to get access to all of Marty's amazingness.
I'll make it something that's pretty easy to understand, like how to charge for quotes. And it'll be template.
Easy to understand is good.
Cool.
Maybe if you wanted to write it in Swedish or something, that'd be good.
I can do that.
Attack. All right.
Now, so we were talking about how not to compete on price. And so one of the biggest things that we teach our members is to become the surgeon within your niche. So if you think about the ladder of, as you go up from a generalist, so let's say a doctor, then you go to a specialist, and he might be a specialist doctor who only specializes in knees or kids or whatever. And then you go to an authority, and then you go to a celebrity. Now, what we want to do is we want to transition you. If you're accepting every type of job and every kind of work under the sun, you're going to be seen as a generalist. Whereas if you just did renovations, let alone villa renovations, you're now a specialist. So that allows you to build case studies, video testimonials. And when someone who's doing a villa reno, who's in a suburb where there's lots of villas, and they want to do a $600,000 to $800,000 major reno, $600,000 to $800,000 major renovation, then they're going to see, hey, great, these guys have done lots of this other kind of jobs and they've got lots of testimonials. They've got a great process for doing it. They're used to working with this type kind of timber. So we really want to move you into specialists. That also allows you to write lead gen magnets. So lead gen magnet is simply a document, a checklist, or something that you're going to put out there, either on a postcard, on a website, in a Facebook ad, top 9 things that you need to know before doing your villa renovation. What that's going to do is it's going to help position you as the expert. It's going to position you as a specialist. It's going to get people educated and nurtured into your funnel. And we're then going to drip feed things out to them. And they might be 6 months away from building. But over that next 6 months, you're going to drip feed out to them. Who's on your team, how we work with you, videos of you guys doing renos, case studies, testimonials, checklists, etc., all to build a relationship, position yourself as the expert, and have people get closer and closer to making a decision. And of course, you're being their trusted advisor. This is all automated, and it's going to position you as the number one guy within your niche.
This is amazing because it's exactly I've been preaching this for so long. We do this. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys do this as a service? Because we do this as a service. So please say no.
No,
Good.
we don't.
Perfect.
In fact, we used to, but we don't, and we partner with companies that are great at doing this, and we're currently looking for.
So this is one of the revelations that we've had recently, and my clients out there will be laughing because this is it's basically you just told them what I've told them. It's good when you hear it from someone else because I'm quite convinced 90% of the time they don't listen to me. So it's good when it comes from somebody else. However, like that, so we're really good with the content side of things for clients. And then we figured, okay, well, this is great. So we're creating some amazing content. And how do we use this content in their messaging? So then we've done this exactly. So we've got like what we call an anti-follow-up sort of process, which we've created, which is an automation, which we build out in their own email marketing program. And once they submit a proposal to their customer, they apply a trigger. And over the course of 6, 12, 18 months, days, whatever they want, they can send out information relevant to that customer, which isn't ramming their proposal down their throat, but it's just about nurturing and educating. And it's just been it's been an amazing tool for them.
It's a game changer, right? And what Matt's talking about here is the secret weapon, the secret sauce that will keep your pipeline full the whole time, will stop you competing on price because you actually don't really want that top 5% because they're at the end of their decision making. They're like, well, I'm doing the renovation the next month or we're ready to kick off and I need Bob, Tom or John. Whereas we want 3 to 6 months to warm that person up, educate them, nurture them, show them why we're the best company to go to and remove all price sensitivity.
Extremely powerful in a longer sales cycle, we have found.
Massively, which is residential building, right? It's typically the biggest decision of their life, biggest financial investment, and it's typically a 6 to 12 month decision. You don't go, hey, let's renovate the house next week and you're looking at builders.
So I don't want to steal your thunder here, but I'm going to tradiewebguys.com.au/automations if you want information on that. And then, of course...
Pow! For the win. What was that, Matt? I didn't quite catch it.
All right. Love that. Love it. It's always good when people regurgitate stuff that you've been trying to get out there.
Exactly. So we got generalist. You want to at least be a specialist. Now, if you're worried, shit, I'm going to miss out on other types of work and that, and we have varied types of work, that's fine. Whilst you're building up to get booked out 6 to 12 months in advance at a 20% gross margin plus, you can still take whatever work that suits your criteria, so location, type of work, size of job, et cetera, and build your portfolio, build your work, build your marketing collateral to allow you to be the specialist in your niche. So whether it's shop fit outs, new builds, reclads, whatever it is, large renos, small renos, et cetera, become known as a specialist. Next level is the authority. And all the authority means is that you are publishing articles, checklists, specific stuff that will help these people in this situation. So that might be an ebook, top 9 things that you need to consider before doing a villa renovation. It might be a checklist. It might be a calculator, for example, like a mortgage calculator. So that's going to allow you to be the authority. And all you're doing is you're putting your collateral out there into the market. And then lastly, and a great way to use that is positioning to go, hey, great, look, here's a checklist that you need to use when deciding what builder to choose to do your villa renovation. Check these top 23. So is he a licensed building practitioner? Does he have more than 10 years experience? Do they use a separate trust account for each job so that you know that your money's safe? And now, funnily enough, your building company will fulfill 21 of these 23 criteria. So you're saying, hey, great, you can use any other building company, but use this checklist as a guide to make sure that your builder is the right kind of building company that you should be going with.
Love it. And
lastly, once you ascend from generalist to specialist to authority, the next level is celebrity. And all the celebrity thing is being out in mass media. So you can use Facebook, et cetera, and then mass media to take that from newspaper, magazine, trade shows, radio, TV, et cetera. Get yourself on there and it'll help boost everything else that you're doing massively. But you need to build it in that manner. Build a strong foundation, get the lead gen magnets, and then put them out there.
I know a lot of our guys over the years just been like, and are still terrified of anything to do with talking into a camera or even getting testimonials off them. Sometimes they shoot themselves. But anyway, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and the only way to get over that is to practice. Practice, just get the phone out, take a selfie, get some video, and practice. Hey, we're here on site. And you can even start doing daily site diaries, weekly site diaries, have your guys do it as well, and really build up your social media presence so that people can see behind the scenes of what's it like to work with your building company.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many tools available to do that these days as well. I mean, you've got Instagram Story, you've got all these kind of cool things, and they really do help. And like you say as well, it does start over time. It will help you build confidence in doing that and presenting. And you know, one of my good mates, Nick, you know, he was always terrified of public speaking, and then he joined a BNI, and then he became the president of something or other, social events, and had to get up each week and talk about it. Now he's great. You know, he can get up there and he can talk in front of crowds. It's just through doing it that you get better at it. Yeah,
that's huge, right? Like success is just outside your comfort zone. So doing something new that you might not have done before, like going to a BNI. BNI is great. We recommend it to all our members. And BNI is basically a networking where you go along, you have breakfast for an hour and a half, you refer work to other people. There might be 20 to 25 business owners there, and you'll be the only building company. So you can also find trade-based ones or trade hubs, and there might be a plumber, a sparky, etc. You go along and you say, great referral for me this week is who do you know who's looking to do a villa renovation, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, no, they're good. They work very well for builders and trade-based businesses. I mean, you need one job and you've basically paid for it for 10 years, you know?
Yeah. Right. Should we go to tip number 2 for not competing on price?
Oh, yep. Go for it.
Yeah. So a guarantee. So you've got your unique selling proposition. Why should someone choose you over anyone else? Next is your guarantee, over and above your materials and over and above your workplace requirements. So we want to make sure with your guarantee that you're covering off the biggest concerns that people have. So it might be, we guarantee no yucky stuff on site. So no swearing, no loud radios, no dogs. We guarantee we finish on X completion date, the date that we say we will, excluding variations. If not, we'll pay you $120 for every day that we're late. Now, if you were 15 days late, you're going to pay someone an extra $1,700. But if that helps you win a $600K job at a higher margin, then it's well worth it. And then, of course, you're going to work backwards to work out timelines. Why did we not finish forecast labor versus actual? And
it keeps you accountable.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other key things with that guarantee are we have a separate trust account that your money goes into, so you can be sure that we're not going to run off and buy a new Ford Ranger. You might also guarantee we leave your house cleaner than what you left it with us, particularly in renovations. This is a big concern. That's why our guys use drop sheets. They take their boots off everywhere. And we use XYZ professional cleaning company to come in and make sure the house is left cleaner than what you left it with us. So we want to make sure that you've got your guarantee mapped out. It looks pretty sexy, and make it look like a crest. Sign it, have your photo at the bottom, chuck it on your website, chuck it everywhere. And that's going to show that you're one step more professional and one step better than your competition.
I know one of our guys does that, and he actually has it printed on like a laminated A3, or what is it, big one, A3 or something thing, and it's on the job site. So every time someone comes into the job site, they're reminded of the guarantees. And he said no one breaks them because every day they walk past them and they see them. And very often, I mean, obviously, you know, builders have a lot of contractors that come through, you know, different trades and stuff. So, you know, toolboxing these guys and helping them, making them understand, you know, what the guidelines are is pretty powerful.
Yeah, massively. As much for your team as for the market.
Yep. Love it.
Another key tip is marketing is all about maths. And so we need to test and measure what's happening at each stage. So how many leads are you getting? What's the average dollar sale? So when someone calls up, all you're going to do is there's ways that you can obviously through websites, you can get where do people come from, and your web forms are going to let you know how many leads you got, particularly if you've got one via Matt. That's smart. And then on the phone, because not everyone will enter a lead form, some people will pick up the phone and call you. We're going to say, hey, great, welcome to XYZ Building. Just so I can help you best, remind you if I ask you a few questions about your project. Tell me about your project, start date, budget. How did you hear about us? Oh, I was driving past and I saw your site signage on Saxon Street. Okay, cool. Well, that's 4 people this week or this month that have called up that have seen that site signage. So the specific strategies for your site signage, so some of those are put photos of people on there. So photos of people will catch attention. So we want to have ideally a photo of yourself and your wife standing beside the project. Number 2,
not the client.
Yeah, you can. No, it might be harder to get the client photo on there. If they're amenable and agreeable to it, 100%. Yep. Typically, what we've worked well is it's going to be the same sign. So rather than having to do a separate sign or everywhere, we've found the same sign with the husband and wife, and because quite often the wife is involved in the decision-making process. And a lot of wives are involved in the business as well. So if we can show them that this is a joint effort, then they're far more likely to, take a meeting. They're not as defensive, etc. So we want to make sure that you've got your lead gen magnet in there, because not everyone's going to pick up the call and the phone and call you. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are at that lower risk thing, but they might go top 9 villa renovation mistakes and how to avoid them. Go to XYZ building company villa renovations. And
it's an important point as well. Like even from a search perspective, and getting a bit geeky here with different avenues of marketing, the way people would come to you, but we'll typically find that, we actually find with a lot of our clients that the customers are less likely to click on, say, a Google ad than they are an organic piece of content, which is educating. So, villa renovations in Cromwell or whatever, great, so there's an ad there for it. But then if there's an education piece which relates to what they're looking for, they're far more likely to firstly click on it, and second of all, engage with it.
100%, because it's lower risk, right?
Mm.
If they pick up the phone, they're like, oh shit, I'm not quite ready. He's going to try and sell me.
Right.
I just want to find out more about how do they build stuff.
Yeah. Good. Love it.
Yeah. So when we know with, just finishing off with site signage, make your phone number way bigger. Make your specific call to action. Call Bob right now to talk about your project, or go to www to download, and you want to have an image of what the booklet or checklist is. And that's what we've found works massively well. And the bigger you can make it, the better.
Gotcha.
Cool.
Love it.
All right.
How are we tracking on that episode?
Are we good? I'll just give one last tip, if that's cool. If we're
away.
Okay. So word of mouth and referrals, a massive opportunity. And they're how a lot of building company owners get a lot of their work. But typically, it's not reliable. You can't with certainty say, hey, we're going to get 1, 2, or 12 referrals this month. So we've created a system for our members that anyone can apply to their business. And you can apply this across any trades business. So ours is a 1% referral system. So how it works is like this. So when you refer a job to us and that goes over the line and results in a signed contract, we'll pay you 1% of the contract value. So a 600K job becomes a 606K job. We'd rather reward you, our raving fans, than put that money into radio, TV, newspaper, etc., etc. Now the client wins because they're going to get the best building company with great communication, with these guarantees, systems and processes to complete the job on time, under budget, and to great quality. You win because you get this $6,000. Yep. And what we've got is we've got a email, a Facebook strategy that goes out, and you can just send us out on email. And what we do is we show the dollar value of what it can buy. So that's $6,000. People can sometimes be a little bit funny about getting money. So we show them for you referring your next door neighbor, your cousin, etc. We'll pay for you to, you and your family to go to Fiji. Now that's also 100% tax deductible as well. So the benefit of that is that we're showing them, here's what you can do by rewarding one of your friends. So this works phenomenally well. And all you do is you put this out on email, comes with a 1-page flyer, has your terms and conditions on there. And this works gangbusters for our members.
Mm.
Now, if you want to put this on steroid, do you want a tip on how to put it on steroids?
Just tip it in.
Okay. So Our smart members will go to their local BNI, church, motorcycle club, school, etc., or any community-based project. And they'll say to the school, hey, we would like to help fund the swimming pool, or we'd like to help fund the soccer first 11 go on their trip to Europe. We will give 1% from any job that comes our way to the school to build that swimming pool. So let's say you got 3 500K jobs during the year. The school was going to get that 15 grand, that 1%, and you're going to get that 1.5 mil worth of work at your 20% gross margin. Now, work that comes via referral is much easier to convert because you've got someone going, hey, have you seen Bob yet? How are you going with your renovation? Have you chosen to build it? Have you talked to Bob? You really should talk to Bob. They got great systems. I know Mary did her job. You've got to talk to Bob. Check that out. So you've got someone a whole bunch of people as your salespeople going into bat for you and touting your business out there over and above other people. So just this one business has got one of our members $4.2 million worth of work. It's got another guy in Hokitika landed a $1.2 million job in a small town of 5,000 people.
That's a one-bedroom apartment where I live.
Yeah, true. So it works massively well. So have a system, put it out there, 1% referral scheme. It's a game changer.
I'd just like to add to that as well. In our experience, and as the great man, Mr. Danny Kerr says as well, word of mouth marketing is great, and it will get you to, well, maybe it's a little bit different for builders, obviously, because they do bigger contract work. But typically, when you're talking home service, might get you to the $500K, $750,000 mark. But at some point, you're going to have to plug some sort of lead gen into that. If you're looking to scale, maybe you're not looking to scale, which is fine. The thing that we've noticed as well with any sort of referral marketing today is that regardless of whether or not it comes through a referral, they're going to research you. So the way that you can improve the conversion from any referral is by making sure that you look professional, that your online presence is great, and that you're ticking all the boxes once people get there. And this goes for any sort of lead generation. There's no point in even talking about lead gen until you've got the conversion framework set up. But that's a really big one we found that for referrals especially, even if you say, I rely entirely on word of mouth, good on you, but you don't know how much you're leaving on the table if you don't have the professional back end built out correctly.
Couldn't agree more.
Are we done on this episode?
Yeah.
So that was the very first episode, folks, of 3 steps on taking your business from chaos to control with my man, Marty Amos. That episode there was how to get booked out 6 to 12 months in advance without competing on price. Now, we're going to be coming back in a follow-up episode, which will be the second part of this series. It's going to be called The Ultimate Process for Removing Yourself from Your Trade Business. I know you guys are going to love this. We're talking about systems. We're talking about how you can free yourself up, buy yourself some more time. You're going to want to make sure you check that one out. Folks, do us a favor. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you go and share it with somebody, because I know there's going to be a lot of people that get a lot of value out of this. All of the links to the stuff that Marty's been talking about are going to be available on the show notes and through the resource page. So you can head across to them. The resource page is siteshed.com/resources. And then, of course, the show notes for these individual episodes. Marty, we're going to come back shortly in the following episode. We're going to talk about episode 2, and then that's going to be followed up with the third and final episode of the series. Thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated. For the listeners out there that want to get hold of you, it's theprofessionalbuilder.com and at theprofessionalbuilder across social. Thank you, sir. We will be chatting to you again shortly.
My pleasure, Matt. It's been a pleasure, and look forward to talking to you again soon. Cheers, buddy.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Toolbox Talks. If you're liking what you hear, then you can head across to the siteshed.com, where you can join our community by signing up to our Toolbox Talks. You'll get sent a weekly notification, which is basically a highlight of everything that we've spoken about during that week, along with any other industry news that may be relevant or specific to the trades. If you're enjoying the show, you can head across to iTunes, Stitcher, or SoundCloud, where you can leave us a review. That would be fantastic, and all the reviews get read out in the show. Likewise, if you have any friends or colleagues that you think would benefit from the show and the episodes that we create, then please go ahead and share it with them.